What's girls, how you doing? Let's do another pickacard, and today is going to be what do you need to know, right? So let's keep an open mind. It can be any area of your life. Let's not be triggered. Let's stay cool, right? Okay, so 2 pounds, let's go. Let's not fluff around today. She says, okay, let's go. 1, 2, 1, 2. So power number 1, what do you need to know? 7 of Pentacles, 4 of Cups, the Magician. Interesting. Someone who was, and that can always be reversed, that can be yourself, right? Someone who was in the middle of the road has to make a decision, right? Someone who was hesitating between moving towards you, which is a gamble, or staying put. It could be you having a decision between 2 jobs, for example, right? 2 offers, staying where you are, you pay the rent, all of that, but it's not very exciting, or maybe doing your own business or doing something, new. Someone is definitely not sure how to approach you. They're hesitating. At the same time, when you both maybe met, there is an idea of, they were focusing on here. So as you can see, and then you came along like love at first sight, Ace of Cups, as we know. So obviously they were not prepared, but now they might also hesitate how to approach you again. There is an idea of, yes, that person may have been wearing a mask, consciously or not, and now they realize, oh my goodness, I manifested you. So there is a reason for it, just to wake me up, just to make me appreciate what I'm missing out on or whatever. So interesting indeed. Let's have a look. So yeah, someone is definitely approaching you, and as I said, they're hesitating, they're a little bit timid. Maybe they have to apologize because they maybe didn't do the right thing at the time. Maybe they didn't tell you the whole truth. But there is an idea to approach you very gently, carefully. They're unsure. They could be very normally secure in themselves when it comes to business, for example. But when it comes to you, they kind of like a bit hesitant. Okay, yeah, you think so? Yeah, there's someone who obviously kept you at bay, pushed you away, and maybe trying to seem indifferent and cold, but they actually have butterfly for you. They feel it much more than they wish they did. But it just happened, right? Okay. So you already know all of that, so it's not a big surprise. You kind of you sit on it because you can read them, you can see through they I wouldn't say a game, because they're really doing the best they can. They found themselves in a situation. They were not expecting you. They were not expecting you to transform and shake the boat, really transform their life. But it did happen. So they're trying to do the best they could with what they had, because they're trying to maintain maybe a sense of normality. But you knew there was something much more. But you stay put. You didn't push anything, because as I always say, it's no need to push. If someone is meant to be yours, it will be yours, period, right? So, but yes, you also knew that there was a need to purge, and also on your side as well. It's very possible as well. But you meant to be. It's kind of written. You have angels protecting you or pushing you toward each other. But that cannot be done until some level of work is achieved. And also it can be on your side. It's not just this side. And also it can be reversed, as I said before. Yeah, they think that you are out of the league, but maybe you think as well the same way, don't you? But you both have a nostalgia of pure love, and number 6 is love. We know that. We know that. So it's hard to let go of that romantic view, because you may have been going through a lot of drama in your life, like everybody else, and yet you hold on to this idea of love. Beautiful. Wow, you think so? Twin flame, marriage. There is an idea of belonging to each other. You understand, it's the idea of recognizing, you are twins, you are both part of the same spirit, the same soul, but in 2 different bodies. It is extremely challenging, that kind of process. It's not for the faint-hearted. It's pushing you to become the best version of yourself. You can name it different ways. I don't particularly like, labels, but it's a very strong connection that you can't explain. It doesn't make any sense on paper, and yet it's still there. So it's recognizing each other, recognizing that there is something to be experienced, no matter which level. It can be friendship, it can be love, it can be work. There's something there that is extremely relevant. It's hard to push that away, I have to say. So Anyhow, it's beautiful. Don't get me wrong. It's absolutely gorgeous, but it's challenging because it's completely outside of the box, right? Okay, so pile number 2, what do you need to know? Ace of Cups, the Hermit, King of Wands. Interesting. So yes, someone either had a love at first sight or is ready to make an offer to you. Is an offer of a job, maybe an offer of love. Is very intense, is huge, and you might feel a little bit, oh my god, this is a tsunami, I don't know what to do. Don't get into the idea, oh, I don't deserve it. Don't go there, okay? If it happens, it's because you can handle it. It's someone who may have been spending some time in a cave, and maybe you've been feeling a bit like this for the last 2 years, probably. You bet. So it's true, you feel a bit like this, but it was a necessary time to actually reconsider what you want, who you are, regroup, maybe as well heal, and maybe the same for that other person. Maybe there was someone who was a little bit, a bit of a player, very ego-based, but we know that that person is covering something else. Obviously, people are not one-dimensional. That would be far too boring. But it's someone who's definitely looking at you, very attracted to you, could be a bit of a player, but I think that person may have found that Queen of Wands and became the King of Cups, because we have the Ace of Cups, right? So, Three of Cups. There is an idea of maybe you met that person in a gathering. Maybe there's some gathering coming up as well. Enjoy, enjoy, enjoy. It's time maybe to get out of that cave, not be a hermit anymore. So if you have an invitation in a safe way, enjoy, right? So there is an idea as well, someone watching you, and they may have been defensive with their word, because you could maybe touch something in them that they didn't want to show, right? The King of Wands, if they're very comfortable to be in gathering, doing that kind of stuff, absolutely. And also it could be a third party, by the way, let's not forget that. They can be, kind of like fluffing around, and they don't want to get too close or too deep with anybody. But if you get deep to them, with them, and if there is a love at first sight, then you bet they're going to defend themselves. So they might be a bit cutting with their words, but yet checking you out, right, on social media. I think there is an idea of learning to improve the communication skill, for example. That would be a good start. But also there was a necessary meeting in some ways, or encounter, I should say, in order to learn on ourselves. And also it's something that is, the big boss upstairs, whether you call it God, angels, unicorn, I don't mind, whatever the label is pushing you to move toward each other because you have something to learn. Also, it could be legal matters that can be sorted. I could also be going back to school and learning and improving. There's always room for improvement. There is an enormous amount of attraction, but we have, definitely a beginning, an offer, something very hot, but there's something very loving as well. So it's a mix of desire and love. So that could be, normally someone who could be perceived as a player, male, female, doesn't matter, but actually within there is something very sensitive, very full of love. Yes, it could be an idea of third party, but also recognizing you as the soulmate. Again, I'm not very keen on titles and labels and things like that, but boy, this is someone to consider big time. Is someone who becoming the emperor, is someone who's visiting, 4 kings, and that could be male, female, doesn't matter. That energy, like, I want to be with you, I know who I am, and I'm coming to get you. Ooh. Nothing wrong with that. But it's someone who is very well defined, and that person may have been a bit defensive with the wording at first, maybe testing you, because that person maybe wasn't expecting to fall for you. There's normally someone, as I say, fluffing around here and there, but boom, they met you. So it could have been quite a bit of a mission. I think maybe your connection may start a bit, tricky, but at the end of the day, there is also an idea of you both had to go through quite a bit. And when you recognize this kind of situation, you're not going to fluff around for a very long time. Yeah, there could have been someone a bit two-faced, a bit immature, that you had to push away. You kind of maybe realize there is something that you're never going to change. People sometimes, they just don't want to grow. You always have a capacity to change and transform if you want to, but it's, free will. If that person doesn't want to do the work, what can you do? So you might have to let go of someone because you're tired. you're tired of this, you know, it's too complicated, it's back and forth, it doesn't mean anything. It's just like, you know what, I'm done. Because if you have an emperor, what would you bother with some kind of page of wands? I mean, seriously, damn. Yeah, you're choosing to move towards peace and you let go of something. For me, it could have been that both of you had to let go of a previous story or an impossible story in order to free yourself and move forward towards love, peace and serenity. And why not? It's time, I think, very much time. It's a new year. Let's bring it on, people. Loving it. On this note, have a beautiful day and I'll see you tomorrow. Mwah. Ciao.